Welcome, friends of the Greasy Shop Rag. Today we're going to take a look at a Poulan PPBV25 handheld blower. Customer complaint is that he had it at another shop because it wouldn't run right, and it still doesn't run right. So we're going to take a look at it and see what we got going on here. First thing I'm going to do is take a look inside the fuel tank and see if that other shop did anything with the filter. The quality of the fuel, we're going to dump that out right now and take a look at it. I mean, the color is a little unusual. I'm not sure what kind of oil that is. It does not appear that there's any water in the fuel. But the odd thing is that it doesn't smell like anything. That could be a bucket of water as far as I'm concerned. There's no smell to it. So what does that mean? Right off the bat, I'm thinking maybe the other shop had the thing running just fine. Customer ran their fuel, the shop's fuel, through it, and then when they refilled it, they used the same old junk they had in their gas can in the shed, and now it won't run again. I mean, that's one possibility, right? I don't have the luxury of having the customer standing right next to me to answer these questions as they pop up. I'm going to pressure test this fuel line and see if it'll hold 10 pounds of pressure. And it looks like it does. This fuel filter isn't... I don't think that other shop replaced it. If they did, then whatever that brown, oily looking substances in the gas stained the filter maybe. Because it doesn't look great. But the problem with working on these blowers is that they're so inexpensive to replace, you have to keep your repair costs down. So if I can get by without putting a filter on there, then that's what I'm going to do. Let's take a look at the air filter. So there's a big chunk out of the corner of this foam. I'm a little surprised that that wasn't replaced. If we get this thing going, I'll replace that at the end. I want to take this engine cover off of here now. When working on these handheld blowers, one thing you always have to look for is whether or not the cylinder is bolted down tight to the block, and whether this end cap on the crank is sealed tight. Look for evidence of oil leaks. This one seems to be pretty tight. Let's pop this spark plug out here and take a look inside the cylinder. The plug is pretty rough, but it's also pretty wet. So his complaint that it was running rich and dying, that spark plug and that wet cylinder back that up. I'm going to pull the muffler off of here and take a look at the exhaust side of the piston skirt. And we're going to see, because it looks a little bit rough inside that cylinder. It could just be wear. And when it's wet inside a cylinder, you tend to get vertical streaks that can trick you into believing they're actually scores. In this case, it's not scored. It's just got some wear. All right. I really want to take a closer look inside this cylinder and make sure that we're good to go. I'm just not seeing the whole thing the way I want to. So we're going to use the camera and just confirm that it's not roached. And I know this isn't a great video shot for you, but what I'm seeing is that this thing can run on that cylinder. It should be fine. I'm going to check the compression just to associate a compression number with the condition of the cylinder I'm seeing. I'm doing this for my benefit and not so much for diagnostics of the machine. It does show 130 pounds of compression, and I mean that's good for this blower. If it was 100 or less, then we'd walk away from it. Let's see if we got spark. Yeah, we got spark. I mean, we don't know if it's timed, but we do know that we have spark. So I was going to put the plug in there, but I changed my mind and I'm going to put the muffler on there instead. Alright, that was way more time than I wanted to spend on inspecting the cylinder. But really, you know, if the thing is bad, it's a deal breaker right there. So I had to make sure that we were good to go. Let's take the carburetor off of here, and you know, I'm kind of curious if that other shop was even in the carburetor or what they may have done. Because if it was at another shop, I haven't seen any evidence of anyone else being in here. I mean, that wasn't a new fuel filter. This carb clearly is dirty and no one was in here. That spark plug wasn't even replaced. So I'm not sure what that was about. I mean, when they say they had it at another shop, you know, maybe it was just a neighbor kid working on it. I don't know. Let's open up this carb. I'm not even taking the fuel lines off of here. Let's open it up and take a look at this metering diaphragm. It's a little bit stiff. I'm just taking a razor blade and peeling it off of the cover. Yeah, it's a little bit stiff. And a stiff metering diaphragm that's continually pushing against the metering lever and holding it open will allow fuel into the metering chamber, and you could certainly flood the engine under those conditions.
No, we see crap fuel all the time.
Do you?
Yeah. And stiff metering diaphragms, like this one. I'm not supposed to make noise like a potato chip.
Suppose not.
Alright, so we're going to put this new metering diaphragm on here. Just getting it lined up. The gasket's underneath it. And then we'll set the cover on top. A couple of screws to hold it in place. kind of awkward working like this with the fuel lines on there yet, but I'm really trying to do this as fast as I can just to keep the cost down. And it's kind of hard to justify a tune-up that's half the value of the replacement of the equipment. Alright, we're going to put the throttle linkage back on. I cannot find the gasket right now. I'm sure you're looking right at it. And I know I was looking right at it, but I must have had something different in mind when I was thinking I needed a gasket there. I was probably thinking something small instead of that bigger gasket. That I didn't see it sitting right in front of me. So we got to kind of line up this air filter base over the top of the carburetor, through the gasket, and into the cylinder. Once we get it all lined up, run the screws in. Alright, looks like the throttle linkage works right. I'm going to blow some of that wet fuel out of the cylinder. Just drying it out a little bit. Same with the spark plug, it's pretty wet. And then what we're going to do is we'll get this thing all buttoned up, see if it'll start. And if it does start, then that's all I'm going to have for you on the Poulan Pro PPBV25 handheld blower. It just can flood itself out. Thanks for watching. Later.